Good morning, my dear students. So, we're going to start today with the first lecture in Research 2. So, for the first part, we're going to talk about quantitative research. Okay? So, if Research 1 was qualitative research, in Research 2, we're going to have quantitative research. So, for the first part, tingnan natin yung katangian, characteristic of a quantitative research. And then next, let's compare between quanti and quali. Okay? So in order to do this, in order to discuss the first section, magkaroon tayo ng sample research. So halimbawa, gusto mong malaman yung status of science teaching. You wanted to know the status of science teaching dito, high school of a certain province. So in order to do that, gusto mong tingnan yung qualification of teachers. So meaning to say, sila ba ay, halimbawa, let passers, or for example, sila ba ay science major talaga? Gusto mo ding makita yung kanilang teaching strategies o ilan sa kanila yung gumagamit ng experimentation in order to teach science. And then, you would like to also look at the facilities of the schools. Meron ba silang laboratory and so on and so forth. So, population, this should be or population or universe. So, sila yung bibigyan mo ng questionnaire. Halimbawa, questionnaire yung gagamitin o survey. Sila yung iyong respondents, in short. So, this will be your teachers and students and this particular school year only, 2019 to 2020. Okay, so dito sa kanan, makikita mo yung pangunahing katangian ng quantitative research. So, gamitin natin yung ating case study o yung ating research sample to discuss them. So, structured tools. When we say structured tools, ang ibig sabihin nito ay mga survey, mga poll. So, sa study na to, magpapadala ka ng mga survey o mga poll doon sa mga teachers and students of a particular high school ng province na yun. Okay? So, ito ay connected din sa third question, dito sa third characteristic. Ang quantitative research ay karaniwan daw gumagamit ng mga close-ended questions para makakuha ng numerical data. When we say close-ended, an example is, what is your gender? So, male and female, di ba? What is your year level for the students? Kung tatanungin natin yung mga students. So, grade 11, grade 12, or 7, 8, 9, and 10, and so on. Kumbaga, different siya sa interview questions. Kasi di ba pag interview questions, you ask an open-ended question. And then, the respondents or the participants will have the freedom to answer it whatever or however they want to answer it, di ba? You experience that in Research 1. But when we use structured tools or close-ended questions, binibigyan mo lang sila ng choices kung saan sila pipili ng mga pwede nilang maging answer. Okay? With the end goal of getting numerical data. Sample size. Ito yung sample size. Ito yung, ibig sabihin ito yung bilang ng mga naging respondents mo. So, sa study na to, ito ay isang quantitative research kasi kailangan mo ng madaming respondents, diba? Especially since you're talking about province A. Para maging makabuluhan yung iyong result, syempre, madami ka dapat respondents kasi ang laki siguro ng province na ating pinag-uusapan. In quantitative research, usually, dapat mas madami sa 100. No, mas madami, mas maganda yung iyong respondents. And quantitative data. So, as I have said, you're going to get numerical data. Yun ang iyong gusto. And lastly, after mo mag-generate ng data, pwede mo siyang i-analyze using statistical tools, and pwede mo mag-generalize yung iyong result. Ibig sabihin, syempre hindi mo naman tatanungin lahat ng teachers, di ba, in Province A. Kumbaga, pipili ka lang ng representative teachers and students from Province A. And based on their answers, pwede ka magkaroon ng general conclusion, hindi na lamang tungkol sa, or hindi lang tungkol dun sa mga selected schools, pero as a whole in Province A. So kung nakita ng pag-aaral mo na, okay naman pala yung quality of science teaching based on the answers of the respondents, you can already make a conclusion na good quality yung science teaching sa Province A. Kahit na ang tinanong mo lang, binigyan mo lang ng questionnaire ay representative or sample from that population of Province A. So, ikumpara natin yung quanti versus qualitative research. So, objective and flow of research. So, yun nga, tulad sabi natin, ang objective ng quantitative research is to get numerical data talaga. Kasi later on, ang gusto mong process of analysis ay statistical. Gagamit ka ng mga statistical tools. So, flow of research is very rigid. Everything is planned from the start. Bago ka mag-collecta ng data, dapat alam mo na yung step by step na gagawin mo. As compared with qualitative research, di ba? Halimbawa, yung interview guide mo, di ba? You have, for example, 10 questions. Pero not necessarily, yun lang yung susundin mo questions, di ba? When something came up while doing your interview, you can add additional questions. You can add for clarification, which is not true for quantitative research. Kung ano yung print mong questionnaire, yun na yun. Hindi ka na pwedeng, teka lang po, bakit po ganito yung answer mo dito sa question number 10, for example. So, kung ano na yung nabuo mong questionnaire, that's it. That's the finished product. So, there's no going back and forth like you were doing in qualitative research. Respondent sample size. So, again, kailangan mo na madaming respondents para magkaroon ka ng makabuluhang result of your study. Which, to compare it with qualitative research, diba? Siguro, kailangan mo lang ng 10 or more. Or, kailangan mo ng 10 or more for qualitative research. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-qualitative research dito dun sa ating sample research, no? Kasi, you're talking about province of Batangas or province A. So, ang dami siguro mo kailangang interview if ang scope ng iyong study ay province A. And then, later on, ang dami din ita-transcribe, ang dami mo din i-code, diba? Ganun yung process natin. So, information gathering. So, yun nga po, usually you use survey and polls kasi gusto mo ng quantitative data. While in qualitative research, you use conversational methods, diba? Like interview, to generate textual data. So, analysis, paano mo ipoproseso yung iyong data? So, tulad nga na sabi natin, you use statistical treatment to do that. Pwedeng descriptive statistics, diba? You get the mean, median, and the mode, the standard deviation. Okay? Pwede kang gumamit ng iba't ibang statistical treatment, chi-square, regression, and so on. While in qualitative research, ita-transcribe mo siya, i-code mo siya, hanap ka ng teams. So, magkaiba yung proseso. Siguro may question, which is better? Quantitative or qualitative research? Kasi, di ba, opposite. Kumbaga, magkaiba talaga sila ng approach ng dalawang ito. Pero do we have to answer this question? So, of course, depende talaga sa sitwasyon kung ano yung mas proper na gagamitin. So you cannot say na in general, ay mas maganda ang quali kaysa sa quanti. Kasi, for example, in the fast food chain, naglabas sila ng bagong product. They want to assess kung profitable ba itong product na to. So, pwede nilang tingnan, di ba, yung number of sales for that particular product in a specific month. So, that's quantitative research, quanti. Kasi titignan mo yung bilang ng sales. It may tell you if mabenta or hindi yung product, but it cannot tell you why. Why siya mabenta. So, kung gusto mong malaman yun, kailangan mong puntahan yung mga tao, yung mga customer, di ba? So, kailangan mong gumamit ng qualitative quali research. Kung gusto mong malaman yung why. Actually, there are studies that use both of them at the same time or magkasunod. So, for example, yun nga, naggumawa ka ng, for example, if this is a marketing research, tinanong mo yung sales in a particular product, inalam mo siya using your inventory. After na malaman na, okay pala or hindi pala okay itong product na to, then you can employ qualitative research methods in order to understand why. Why did that happen?